Hello, my friends, and welcome to Italy, a place to love YouTube channel, the channel where I like to talk about the good, the bad, all we have to know about Italy, but mainly I focus on properties for sale in Italy. But in today's video, I want to bring to your attention a very interesting story where everyone in Italy is talking about. Media's outlet. So everyone, simply everyone is on everyone's mouth, in every family they're discussing about this story. So we are talking about all we have to know about Italy. All right, so let's start. I start from the fact that even the CNN, all right, decided to write an article about this story. And so in today's video, I'm going to read the article written by the CNN about this very, very, very interesting story. And let me know your opinion. Let me know if you heard before about this story, or if it's just through me that you are awakening about this crazy story. That's all. Let's start. Please put like and subscribe. It helps my channel to grow. You can join my Facebook group, Italy, a place to love. But so, let's start with this article. Now, a family of 5 was living off-grid in a remote cabin in central Italy. Then the court intervened. Now, for me, already the title is it's wrong. Okay, I have to complain because the family is still living in this cabin. Okay, off grid. So it's not like they were living; they are living, and so in a remote cabin. I think they have exaggerated a bit. I mean, I'd say a countryside house. I would call it more than a cabin. I don't know. For me, it's a countryside house. Anyway, they are living in Abruzzo region. They are living in one of these areas that is highly appreciated by the expats. Okay, they moved over there in 2021. But so let's read the article. So they are in Abruzzo region, close to Vasto. They live in the forest. Vasto is a beautiful touristic destination on the sea. So I think they picked a very good location where to live in Italy. But so let's start. The described idyllic life of a family of 5 living in an Italian forest with horses, donkeys, and chickens has stalled after the Italian court, ordered the children being removed and placed in a foster care. So their 3 children, they've been taken under custody by the courts and they've been put in a foster care run by the church. Now, this is a situation that it happens, I'm not saying quite often, but it happens in Italy, that most of the time when families are not considered responsible enough, so they take the children and they put in kind of institutions or with other families and so on. Let's keep reading. Patrol cars were dispatched to remove the children from their home in Abruzzo to a church-run care facility. The mother is staying at the same premise, but the parents have limited access to the children, their family lawyer said. So the mom of these 3 children now, she's allowed to stay in the same place where the children are, but they have limited access. The fate of the children, known in Italian as the Bimbi nel Bosco or Kids in the Woods, has captivated the country. So it's a story, believe me, that everyone is simply talking about, everyone is expressing his opinion. Italians are like this, and then media like to just talk about one topic. This is the topic of the day, of the week, of the month. Now, we don't know how long this story will go. Anyway, they call it Bimbi nel Bosco, the children in the wood, the kids in the woods, has captivated the country. Tens of thousands of people have signed an online petition to reunite the family. Dividing, there's always who is in favor of this court decision, who is against. Anyway, looks for some people, these parents are not responsible. For other people, parents should be allowed to do whatever they want. So let me know your opinion. It's very important for me. What do you think about this story? And in particular, I repeat, if you are aware of this story, if you already heard about this story. Now, the parents, now I can share name and surname because they are shared in the article. Nathan Trevelyan, a 51 years old British former professional chef, so he is British, and Catherine Birmingham, a 55-year-old Australian life coach and former equestrian trainer. So he is British, she's Australian, and they decided to move to Abruzzo region in 2021, where they bought this cabin, which I call it countryside house. Were named in an order issued by a L'Aquila court. L'Aquila is the capital of Abruzzo region, where the court is, as parents of the children, one 8 years old and the other two 6 years old because twins. The family unit lives in housing hardship as the building has not been declared habitable. Okay, then we can discuss about this anyway. The structure hasn't been declared habitable, the structure of the house. The order states the members of the Trevelyan family have no social interaction. The order, the courts, no fixed income. The home has no toilet facilities, and the children do not attend schools. So these are the key points where the court is working on it, let's say. The order is based on the risk of violating the right to social life in consideration of the serious and harmful violations of the children's rights to physical and mental integrity. The parents should be suspended from parental responsibility. Okay. Now, Giovanni Angelucci, the family's lawyer, says the family heats the home with fireplaces and uses solar panels for light and to charge their devices. Anyway, they live in the forest. They try to live off of grid. It's a kind of crime to decide to live off of grid. The family removed running water to avoid microplastics. I think this is a bit exaggerated, let's say. Why? Anyway, the well then to avoid microplastics as well has costs, okay, also to avoid all type of costs, and instead draws fresh water from a well on the property. Anyway, even water from the well has to be treated. It's not like you can just drink water from the well. You have to filter, you might need to boil, and so on. They don't have an indoor toilet, but instead use an outdoor composting toilet. Okay, let's say then they share pictures as well. I will share the link under the description video with this CNN article. Anyway, I'm surprised to see that even in the United States, they paid attention to this story. The family's living situation came to light in September 2024. This is very important. After all five were hospitalized for poisoning after eating wild mushrooms from the forest. Now, always be careful with the mushrooms that you're picking. I see plenty of mushrooms here and there. I'm not gonna pick if I don't know. And even if I know, better I always have an expert consultation with mushrooms. Come on, be careful. So they've been hospitalized, and from that moment, they went under, let's say, the eye of the Italian law. After that time, the family was visited by social service officials and law enforcement. But their lawyers say that they did not comply with recommendation to have the children receive regular medical care and attend schools. So the law enforcement asked the family to give the children regular medical cares, which I don't know if it should be a parent decision or government decision, okay? and to attend schools. Also here about attending school, I don't see really strictly necessary. All you have to do is your children to have an exam like all the other children at the end of the year to follow the to go to pass to the following year. The Trevelyan told, so the man, the British father, told local media at the time he was shocked by the decision. They are happy, smell good, well mannered, and well fed. Why break these bonds? All right. He said Friday, according to La Repubblica newspaper. Now, CNN reached out the family via Birmingham's website, which advises that they don't check electronic communications often. Anyway, the lawyer said the family will appeal the decision next week, so it's an open court case. Birmingham runs a life coaching and energy reading business, according to her website. So she has a website. Everyone can go on her website. Birmingham is the wife, the Australian woman, which is filled with images of animals and the children. Photos the court order said violated the children's privacy and were posted only to show the appearance of a normal living situation after the social services investigation began. Okay, anyway, Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, because here now also the Italian politicians start talking about this story, and her deputy Matteo Salvini have both criticized the court decision. Okay, so they took the side of the family. We might say good for Giorgia Meloni. I'd say my impression is the majority of the people are in favor of the family. And if I can share my opinion, I put also myself into this side. I mean, I'm on the side of the family, even if I might not agree 100% with their lifestyle, but it's their own decision. It's their own decision. Once children are well fed, clean, they're studying at home. Once the children have all the needs, the basic needs, I won't interfere with their own decisions. Let's say then, again, I may not agree 100% with that type of lifestyle, off of grid completely, but so in this case, I'm on the side of the Prime Minister, of Giorgia Meloni, okay? Even if you need to understand this, there is something important to understand, that because Giorgia Meloni, let's say, is the right-wing party, now, not only now with Giorgia Meloni, but the right-wing side, the right-wing political side in Italy, for the last 30 years, always argue with the courts and justice. So let's say the Department of Justice had always been in conflict with the right wing. Okay, the left-wing parties are more in favor of the court's decision, but this even before Giorgia Meloni, when we had Berlusconi. Berlusconi was in a constant conflict with the courts. Anyway, so that's why I feel like there is also this political side of Giorgia Meloni and her political side to take the decision of the family to go against the courts, which, again, there is this conflict between the right-wing parties and the courts in Italy, the law. So, Meloni, who said the removal of the children was alarming, has called the Italian Justice Minister Carlo Nordio over the case, according to her spokesman. So the removal of the children was alarming. Then, you see, it depends. Could be case by case, but in this case, anyway. Then Salvini, who is her deputy, is a famous politician in Italy, who plans to visit the family home next week. So he's planning to visit this family, told reporters at the Venice Biennale on Friday that it was shameful that the state is concerned with private education and the personal life choice of two parents who found Italy a hospitable country, yet it steals their children. Okay, now I agree with this statement. I agree with this deputy politician. Shameful that the state is concerned, okay, with private education. Then I would like to know your opinion. When, according to you, the government, the state should interfere, let's say, with the parental, um, in which case, let's say, parents, in which case the courts should be allowed to take the parental responsibility from their parents. Let's say, is there a case if the children are not treated well, if there is an abuse, for example? Obviously, if there is an abuse, or if they're not fed well, or if they don't go clean, or if they're committing crimes already, the children, we have plenty of stories of young children in the big cities committing crime, for example, and they are sent by, don't let me go further. So, if my question is, are there any cases where this should be allowed to take the children from the family or not, or always children should stay with the families? This is a kind of complicated topic, complicated subject. I wouldn't express myself. I cannot always say, oh yes, they should always stay in case there is a very bad situation behind, let's say. I don't know. Complicated, okay? Okay, they steal their children. So it's important here because, anyway, this family is British, she's Australian. They choose Italy, they choose this beautiful region, which is Abruzzo region. They choose a beautiful forest, a location that is close to the sea. They choose their lifestyle. They appreciated Italy, and Italy is going against this family. Again, this is what the deputy doesn't like, and it says, personal life choices of two parents who found Italy a hospitable country, which I always recommend as an hospitable country, but then I would never be happy if I, let's say that you're welcome to Italy and then you're gonna find problems in Italy. I would never be happy with that. Yet it steals their children. Now, the family purchased the home in 2021, at which time Birmingham, the man, the wife, wrote on her website, recently we found our dream forever home. So I'm appreciating this, that foreigners are appreciating Italy, because this is what my channel is about. Anyway, to talk about Italy, to show you the good, the bad, all we have to know, the properties for sale. Maybe they got this property for less than 10,000 euro. I'm sure a cabin, let's say a countryside house in the forest with a little plot of land where they can have their animals, let's say a horse, a donkey, with the energy of the place being very special. We bring people to stay for healing and awakening, connecting to the wild without and within, eating homegrown and home-cooked organic vegan food. Now, you know what I would call this family? Probably, if you are old enough, you remember the hippies, I think this family likes to follow the hippie style. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Now, I'm not really a fan personally of hippie people or hippie lifestyle. I prefer comforts than this kind of life, without comforts. I like comforts. I don't know. Um, I prefer to have, anyway, I love fireplace, but I like to have a house with comforts. I'd rather pay for my comforts than, anyway, they say this family, I read somewhere else that, anyway, they consider this place, they moved to Abruzzo because they say that it's one of the places with one of the best vibes on the planet. All right, so and me, that I'm working in favor of Abruzzo and Molise, so it's a very interesting thing, we bring people to stay for healing and awakening, so they might have also some courses. They might invite people, to join their family, their community. There are many communities like this in Italy, in Tuscany, in Piemonte region, all over the Alps. I mean, you in Umbria region, Le Marche, we like to have this kind of healing communities, like reminds me of a hippie lifestyle. Um, Connecting to the wild without and within, eating homegrown and home cooked organic vegan food. Now, I don't think they can provide themselves for all the food that they need. Even if they're vegan, I don't think they can grow. But if they have chicken, they have eggs. Anyway, they might have the garden where they grow vegetables. Obviously, here we can even grow plenty of vegetables now in November, December, in January. If you go to the fields around Monte Milone, everything is green. You see broccoli, cauliflowers. It's massive. I'm shocked by the amount of these vegetables that are grown in November, in December, in January. But there are cauliflowers, broccoli, and many type of green vegetables that I don't even know the names, but anyway, they're vegan food. I'm not vegetarian. I'm not vegan. So, but it's their choice. I respect their choice. I think vegan is a bit too much extreme for me, but if they're happy with that, then the mayor of nearby Palmoli. Now, next video in Abruzzo will be about these properties for sale in Palmoli, because I'm very, very curious. I don't even know where this town is on Google Maps. They say it's close to Vasto. So I believe this town, I want to explore, I want to check the properties for sale in Palmoli. So also condemned the removal of the children. Even the mayor is on the family side. I am a father myself, so I was deeply shocked by the situation, he told to the CNN, adding that he believed the situation could be resolved if the family promises to meet certain requirements. Okay, let's see which these requirements are, including reinstalling running water, which I agree. Why not? I mean, okay, you can have your spring, but if you have running water, you can also have a normal toilet, for example, which is for me that I like comforts. That if you disagree with me, let me know. I like comforts, I repeat. And I like to have a warm toilet with a lovely shower and hot water and so on. So I'm wondering, how do they take the showers? If they don't, in the winter, do they warm up the water? Interesting. Including reinstalling running water and meeting with local school on a weekly basis to assess the children's academic progresses. Now, about the running water, I agree, but about meeting with the local school on a weekly basis, I disagree. For me, it's important that these children have an exam at the end of the year, like all the other children, to see if they are allowed to pass the following year. They should attend an exam. Okay, my friends, now, if you have watched up to now, and I left on purpose my opinion for the end of the video, for not for everyone to watch what I really think, but I have two main questions to the story. Let's say mainly one. I'm interested to know what kind of permesso di soggiorno this family has. This is the type of question that I would like to ask to myself, because they don't have an income, they are not EU citizen, she's Australian, he is British, maybe they have an EU passport, I don't know, okay, but they never said that. It's only me asking this question to myself, but what type of visa status they have? Simply because my wife is not an EU citizen, she's not Italian, and I know all the processes that I had to go through, to have a valid permit visa, a valid resident permit, let's call it. So this is one of the main questions that I'm asking to myself, Also, if you want to move residents here in Italy, you need to have, anyway, a certain income. Anyway, you that you're watching from the States, let's say, you might not just be able to come here and live if you don't have a valid residence permit. Okay, so this is the main question. That the other one I keep it for me for now. I think I will go back to this story because anyway everyone is talking about, so why not Italy a place to love also to share. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this video, my friends, and so I'll see you here on Italy a place to love YouTube channel, probably more videos about properties. And so let me know your opinion, or if you knew about this story under the comment section, and I'll see you here to my next video. Bye.